I don't know much about podcasts, but I'd say this one is Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley, and like the aliens, I too love gold. Who's joining me this week?
Hey, I'm Josh Cece. Come on down to the Martian Cliffs Casino, the loosest slots in town.
A kid, a dog, a woman, and me, Brian Lesh.
I might be worth bounty money. I'm Alaric Weber.
He might be.
You never know.
If you jump on him, coins come out.
We have to keep him alive until we get to the next town to find out.
That's right. This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the deep dive movie podcast where we pick a theme or a series. We watch the movies, gather some research into the production and source material, then we tell you about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmless entertainment. We got a lot of bonus content there. We've got Star Wars shows and holiday shows, and we do some music shows up there. And of course, we've got our monthly movies. We just put up Fifth Element was the last one. We're gonna
Fifth Element.
Yeah, we're gonna this month we're going to be doing Battlefield Earth. So that's a movie.
Where is Shelley Miscavige? Will be asked many times,
Yes.
I'm sure.
She's dead. She is dead, man.
She just got a bottle of Windex. She's cleaning that vault, man.
Patreon.com/harmless entertainment. We are back. We just finished up our Ghostbusters run. And we're back into our comic book run here. We're doing comic book movies that are not superhero movies. And this week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Cowboys and Aliens.
I need to know where you came from.
So do I.
What the hell? We need you.
What is that thing?
Why are you asking me?
Because you shot it.
We need every gun we can get. And they're gonna wipe us out.
Who is she?
She's the only one who knows who I am.
You know who you are. You just have to remember.
Grab your guns. We're riding out. Come on! We gotta get our people out!
We have one advantage. They underestimate you.
So we step in. Looks like he's doing fine.
Cowboys and Aliens. It was released July 29th, 2011. Has a running time of 118 minutes, cost $163 million dues, and it made $174 million. So, wah.
Just barely made it.
I mean, they lost money on that because the studio doesn't get the full amount back at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that they made that much money off of this movie. It's just a weird. Everything about it's weird. Like it doesn't have a lane.
I mean, it was
Well,
it was set up as a big like summer tentpole. It just didn't perform.
no, Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in
didn't see
theaters
and
and being confused.
What were you confused about? I'm
Just like
curious.
what their intention was, because it didn't come off as a Western and it didn't come off as an action movie. It came off as like kind of between those things.
But don't those things seem incongruent to begin with, though? Cowboys and Aliens. Like, aren't you going in thinking it's going to switch lanes?
Yeah, it's not that it did. It
would just be
lanes.
Cowboys.
It's
Or
just like
be Aliens.
tonally, the movie works. It's just like the way that it looks and feels is weird. I guess that's my take from it.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's dressed like it's a Western, but it's shot like it's Iron Man. You know, like just the shots are weird. It doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird movie. It's a really weird movie.
I really
feel like it's
to me,
absent of weird. Like I
like,
wish
not
it was
good
more
weird. Not good weird. Just like choice weird. Like why is this edited like
it
this?
is
Why is it shot like
marvelized
this?
for sure. It is kind of straight down the middle. It's a solid 5.5, I think, out of 10. Like as far as like
I like the Western part of it a lot. I mean, I don't think you could take the aliens out because it's that's the whole conceit of but I thought it could have been a really fun Western. I mean, that cast is insane. That's who you want
the cast
for a
is
Western.
incredible.
All those people.
I thought it was. I was really in. I was all in up through the first alien attack on the town, and then after they started writing out, that's when I feel like it started falling off, becoming like the middest of mids.
I think the way that they introduced the aliens and then the fact that they showed us so much of them, like there's just a lot of weird choices. Like the reason that they fought them in the daylight makes sense, but like that was a choice, you know, that they wrote into the movie.
I do agree. I think we saw too much.
Or the graphic novel. This has source material.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I do agree. I think
I don't think it's Jon Favreau's.
No, I mean they did a lot of it's not super adheres to the source material. And
that doesn't matter. That's what I'm confused about, though. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. It's just Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah. No.
That's all it is. That's all it is. There's nothing even more. Like they reveal they want gold. That's why they're here. But even that, there's nothing more than a foot deep in this.
It feels like we put cowboys in a science fiction movie, and it doesn't feel like we put aliens in a cowboy movie. I think that's where my problem is like it feels like that one half of it works, whereas the other half, where it's supposed to feel like we're watching a Western, but there are aliens in it. It just
so if you took one or the other out is my point. I don't. Okay, right on.
Well, if you took the aliens out, it would just not be it wouldn't be a
it would just be cowboys. Yeah. The whole conceit, the novelty of it is these two things that don't interact.
I get.
So that's the novelty.
I think Brian's speaking more tonally. Like it would have been, like if the aliens had been if it had just felt like we were in a cowboy movie and then there's aliens, rather than it being tonally like very actiony.
Because you pointed out the moment when it shifts.
I'm not getting
like it shifts.
But I don't need to get it. It's fine.
Cowboy movie to action movie when the town.
I don't think it ever does. I think when he wakes up and he has this like super high tech thing on his wrist, we're already in that territory. But that's just me.
Well, I know, but
I don't think it takes a left turn and suddenly there are aliens.
But even with the high tech thing, the first 30 minutes are shot and feel like a Western that just happens to have incongruous things. After that first 30 minutes, then they start just shooting it like a mid action film.
Yeah. And just
so
like
maybe I love Westerns, but Westerns are sort of shot like a mid action film. There's a lot of talking until there's not. That's in every West. I don't know. Whatever. I hadn't formed that many opinions about it. No. I don't feel like there's a tonal shift when I know. I don't feel like there was a tonal shift, but that's just me. Maybe I'll see it differently as we go through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are. I think we're. If
I was watching The Unforgiven and suddenly aliens appeared, then I would just be like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like that just.
That's what I wanted. Turn. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
I'd kind of love that. Honestly, it would at least be a. It would at least.
I would love that.
Be a swing.
If the title wasn't Cowboys and Aliens.
Okay, fair.
But I think that establishing that. I mean, we know that there's going to be aliens in it. Obviously, they did a lot of marketing for it. But I just think that it could have been
marketing.
The name, obviously.
It's the entire point.
But the entire trailer shows shots of the aliens and things like that. They made no effort to do what Thoreau had said, like introducing that.
Any tone aside, I do think they showed too much of the aliens and made them less scary by showing too much.
Yeah.
I usually am pissed off by the opposite.
Okay.
But that's just me. Anywho, top 10? Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, and we've just argued more about Cowboys and Aliens than any other group of people have since the film was made.
I wasn't arguing. So we know. I don't care if you sign my petition or not.
But yes, like we said, it didn't make its money. Not even close. And so we are going to do the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of July 29th, 2011. And guys here are going to try to guess what movies I am describing. So here we go at number 10 for the week of July 29th, 2011.
11.
2011, yeah. That was...
I thought this was like close to 2015. I guess I wasn't.
Yeah, no, okay. It was his immediate follow-up to Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is like pre-Chef then?
Yeah.
Or is this after
yeah,
Chef?
Yeah, I think so.
Pre-Chef, yeah.
And he was still kind of not too happy with... Yeah, anyways.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense about the Marvelness of the style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a little later, and he had already done Jungle Book and Lion and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. No, he was coming right off his Iron Man run, so it was kind of like, well, this is the kind of movie I'm going to make then, because it'll be a big hit.
Yeah, I see that.
All right, at number 10 this week, an international star athlete and his hick pal head overseas to compete in a big competition, but the road to the championship becomes rocky as the bumpkin gets caught up in an intriguing adventure involving international espionage.
Kung Fu Panda?
No.
Balls of Fury?
No. This is an animated film.
Oh.
It's the second entry into a
Shrek
series.
Lasso.
And I left out some very important information, which would identify it. It's
and a hit. Oh, I'm sorry. Cars 2?
Cars 2. Yes, absolutely. Cars 2. The movie which establishes that there was a car Jesus who was crucified by car Romans.
What? I've never seen any of the Cars movies.
There's yeah.
I'm now curious about the Cars movies.
There's a car pope, and they wears a crucifix.
I remember that, yeah.
Do you just crucify a car on a forklift?
Yeah, or put it in, I think, one of those compactors, right?
Yeah, the big crusher.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's about like cars trying. It's like an evil cabal of like international cars that are trying to stop clean energy so that they can continue selling oil. It's a crazy movie. Especially since the first one is like, what if a racer wasn't as good of a racer and got sad and then learned to race again? And then this one is like, car Jesus.
I got
the worst part is the guy who named it made $2 million.
Yeah, Jesus.
Cars.
We've been tossing around automobiles for a while, but I think we've finally settled on something that the kids will love.
I don't know if you guys have watched Flight of the Conchords, probably, but I love the New Zealand Prime Minister who watched almost most of Cars on the plane, but he wanted them to find out how does the girl car get together with the boy car? He's like, oh, good. It was real touch and go there for a while.
At number 9 at the box office this week, a group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable human
Dr.
friend
Dolittle.
find
Just
love.
over the head.
Nope. Without opting to
Madagascar?
leave his current job for something more illustrious. This stars Kevin James. He is
The zookeeper.
the zookeeper. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
a
you
lot of
hadn't
movies
said
where it's
Kevin
just
James-
that thing.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
It's as bad as Larry the Cable Guy health inspector.
Oh, that's Larry.
Which one are you?
The Cable Guy Health Inspector.
Yeah, that's actually a David Spade bit. I get, but yeah. It's like, which one are you? Is that the mystery?
Larry the Cable Guy. You know, in all my years of seeing Larry the Cable Guy do stuff, I've never once seen him install or repair cable. Never
Nope.
once.
And you know what's funny is he's one of those comedians that all of his material's ghostwritten. Like he has writers.
Yeah.
He's never told an original joke on a fucking stage.
Of course
And if
not.
you didn't know Jeff Foxworthy, he'd still be installing cable.
And number 8 this week. Okay. Our hero team learns of a spacecraft hidden on the moon and race against the bad guys to reach it and learn its secrets.
Transformers?
Which one?
Dark
no way to know. Dark of the Moon.
Moonraker.
Moon-
Oh, Dark of the Moon, yeah.
Transformers. Fucking Transformers.
Yeah. My dad was a transformer. Just took a bottle of liquor.
I cannot believe how many of those movies there are.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they use that much CGI and they're able to crank them out like that. You know?
I can't believe it took them so long to have the Beast Warriors like in it.
Yeah.
It was so lame.
I'm not surprised that they're finding ways to pump more money out of it, but it's just every time I'm like, where are you getting these story ideas from? It's crazy.
They're like, it transforms.
Yeah, they get a couple of kids in a room and they shake the room and they just come out with a crazy idea.
Just come out.
Whoever
Anthony Hopkins and there's a knight and then Mark Wahlberg.
There's a
Like,
night.
what?
Yeah, whoever owns the film rights to GoBots right now is just so angry.
So angry.
At number 7 this week, 3 friends conspire to murder their awful supervisors when they realize they're standing in the way of their happiness.
Bad, horrible bosses.
Horrible bosses, yes.
I love that movie.
That's a good one. The second one was okay.
Yeah, man. Like, Colin Farrell, he nails cokeheads. Like you feel the cocaine when you're watching this guy.
Oh, yeah. Number 6 this week.
And Jason Sudeikis is stoned in many, many scenes.
Oh.
Like he's not smoking weed. The character is so glassy-eyed
Yeah.
and baked.
No, that trio is perfect. Charlie Day and Jason Bateman and Sudeikis. Yeah. Number 6 this week. A young man and woman decide to take their friendship to the next level without becoming a couple, but soon discover that adding sex only leads to complications.
Just friends.
The other one.
The Proposal?
No.
No.
Yeah, there were. This was one.
Friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits. Yeah, this was a weird instance where it was like a double thing, like the volcano, Independence Day or asteroid.
Deep impact.
Asteroid,
Yeah,
And,
but it was with like, what if a couple just fucked? And there was
Yeah,
one with
what
Anne.
if?
There was one with Anne Hathaway, and then this one was Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis.
What funny because now what that means, friends with benefits, is just dating someone who has a dental plan that you get out.
At number 5 this week, opening at number 5. This Okay, yeah. This was a better film than I thought it was gonna be when I watched it. A middle-aged husband's life changes dramatically when his wife asks him for a divorce. He seeks to rediscover his manhood with the help of a newfound friend, Jacob, learning to pick up girls at bars. Starring Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei, and Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
Something for losers?
Crazy Love, Crazy
Crazy
Love?
Stupid Love. Yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
it was better than I thought it was going
My
to be.
sister
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first movie I watched where I was like, oh, there's something to this Ryan Gosling guy. He's not just the Notebook like hunk.
He's not just a Mickey Mouseketeer.
Yeah. Well, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone's first movie together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see his comment about the La La Land poster?
Mm-mm.
The dance choreographer kept telling him, when you put your hand up, the famous, his hand is up in the air and she's extended their,
Yeah.
They told him, put your finger straight up in the air. He went, okay, yeah. And he kept doing this flat hand thing that dancers call hamburger hands.
Oh.
And he didn't know that they were going to put that on the cover. He goes, yeah, me, Ryan Reynolds, old hamburger hands on the cover of that thing. That's how he referred to himself in La La Land just like a week ago in some interview. And it's just the funniest. He's the funniest motherfucker when it comes to doing press.
Did you see the Beavis and Butthead thing that they did on the red carpet?
On the red carpet?
Yeah, they showed up that way. Mikey Day.
No,
Mikey Day's upper lip doing all the work.
Ryan Gosling has got the Brad Pitt thing going where he's a character actor, a funny character actor trapped in a leading man's body.
Yeah.
It's true.
Number 4 this week. 3 friends search for an evil guy's special stuff in an effort to destroy him as a final battle rages.
Is this a Potter?
It's a Potter. There was no way to.
His things.
I was trying not to say Horcrux.
Just doing a home invasion on a wizard. Like, I want your things, your special things.
Yeah. Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Is that the last?
Oh,
of
the
them?
end. Yeah, that was the last.
That's the last one, 2011. Wow, it's been, 13
10
years
points.
now since that ended.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Recently, on one of her standard, I hate trans people tweets,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Elon Musk, of all people, was like, maybe you should tweet about other stuff, JK.
You just mix it up. You're a writer, aren't you?
Elon Musk was like, okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The openly
It's wild.
anti-trans Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And
Fascinating.
somebody asked Daniel something about her recently because his reply was, I don't owe her anything. And that's dope
Yeah.
Yeah.
for Harry Potter to say that.
Absolutely.
I don't owe her anything.
At number 3 this week.
She literally became Voldemort.
Yeah, she did.
People don't say her name. It's
Mhm.
so funny.
No, it's if you want to destroy an entire generation's love of a franchise.
Be a bigot and never shut up about it.
And just don't stop. So
Yeah.
into it. It's one
Right,
thing to
like
have
it's a-
that opinion. It's another thing to
Yeah.
constantly tell everyone you have that opinion and refuse to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She sucks.
Yeah.
Turns out she always sucked.
I guess so.
Yeah, fuck her, man. Whatever.
I mean, look at the names of some of her characters. Anyways, we can have a whole podcast about Harry Potter later.
Oh God. At number
No, thank you.
yeah.
Just-
At number 3 this week, a rejected military soldier takes some drugs and then beats up Nazis.
Captain America.
The first Avenger.
that came out the same week?
No, it didn't. It's been out
Oh.
for a few weeks.
Okay, I was going to say.
Thor is still in up here, though. Yeah, Thor is like at number 20. And Green Lantern.
Oh, wow.
At number 2 this week, a spaceship arrives in 1873 Arizona to take over the Earth. Starting with the Wild West region. All that stands in their way, a posse of cowboys and Native Americans.
Just Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yep.
The movie.
Cowboys. Space Cowboys. Wait, no.
Yeah, different movie.
Yeah.
Equally bonkers.
Yeah. And opening at number 1 this week, when an evil wizard chases a group of villagers out of their home, they arrive
The Smurfs.
in New York City. The Smurfs, yes. Al was on top of that shit. He was like, I know the Smurfs.
What's the evil wizard's name?
Gargamel.
Gargamel.
The Smurfs was way too big a part of my childhood
Our lives.
for what they were. Yeah.
For being a Belgian.
I'm just getting better at Thoreau speak.
Thanks, Al.
I caught the very, very tail end
Sussing
of
it
the
out.
Smurfs and became like old enough to recognize what it was as I was watching it and was very confused. I remember being a kid being like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what
Well,
am I
when we were young,
watching?
they were sort of ubiquitous, like the Peanuts. Like you would see little like balloons and little statuettes and little.
Yeah, they were
they were highly marketed to the American audience.
They were just everywhere. Yeah. So
And one woman.
yes.
Yeah, even weirder
And-
now that I'm an adult.
And yet more and more Smurfs all the time.
Well, and funny, they're Belgian, but they're not everywhere in Belgium. You would expect something like that to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I found out in a comic shop, like, oh. And it was unremarkable elsewhere.
Also, Alvin and the
yeah.
Chipmunks, very, very big in the mid 80s.
yeah, just sold
The
to
Noid and other product,
Oh,
characters.
the Noid.
the Noid,
Noid.
which I believe is some sort of pizza demon.
The Noid, Spuds McKenzie, the California Raisins. There were
California
many.
raisins. Oof.
Yeah.
Mascots.
Where's the beef? Anyways, that is our box office top 10, which brings us to the comic book background. This is a comic book movie, so to speak. And that means we are going to be thrown over here to Professor Al. It's been a while since we heard from you, Professor. Tell us what we need to know about this.
I will try. So, Cowboys and Aliens is a 105-page graphic novel published by Platinum Studios in 2006. Platinum Studios, they're like a storehouse for comic book characters that they try to get made into films and other media. I don't know if they've had a ton of success after Cowboys and Aliens, but I believe they're still around. Anyway, the founder and chairman of Platinum Studios, Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, came up with the concept of Cowboys and Aliens in 1997. Then an employee, Greg Novak, came up with the title. And then Rosenberg had Novak and Paul Benjamin work up a film pitch.
I would not have been surprised if it was the title and they worked backwards. That's interesting. Somebody else had to be like, call it this.
Yeah, so
It's like Cowboys and Indians. But
concept, title, film pitch.
And
So
then the comic book.
So this is a California raisin Noid in itself.
or
Little bit.
cartoons like you said, Transformers.
Universal and DreamWorks acquired the rights in the same year, 1997, while it was still a graphic novel in development.
Wow.
By the mid-2000s, Rosenberg commissioned writers Fred Van Lente and Andrew Foley, and artists Dennis Calero and Luciano Lima to create the graphic novel, which was published in December of 2006. So it took 9 years from concept to publishing.
Right, because they were trying to get it made into a movie all those years before they actually made the graphic novel.
Yeah.
So if good art is made with the pressure of needing to make money, and this is just made with eventually we're going to make a movie with this. It's already been sold.
Yeah, it's funny to even have the graphic novel element. I mean, you can sell them, of course, but you know what I mean? It's like, I have this concept. I sold the concept or treatment. Let's make but it's like, here's my treatment. Okay. Well, we'll try to get it made as a movie. While you're doing that, make a graphic novel as well. I don't know. It does sound more extraordinary than it really is. People get paid for treatments all the time.
It makes me wonder if they were like trying to Alan, like an Alan Moore graphic. Eventually, you'll have this thing that people will love. And it's like, eventually? What do you mean eventually?
Well,
we just bought this movie from you.
Scott.
In terms of adaptations, 9 years is pretty quick.
Yeah. Scott Mitchell Rosenberg seems to be a guy who's mostly like tries to pitch and produce films and also happens to do comic books as a side hustle.
But isn't
that's
it
the vibe I'm getting
like,
from his Wikipedia.
Okay. So yeah, they basically had to create this graphic novel to get the movie out of development. And I suppose just so you can call it a comic book movie.
So 9 years.
They were thinking of us.
Yeah.
9 years just to the graphic novel publishing. And then
I thought it was 9 years until it was in production for the movie.
No. It took 9 years.
5 years to the release of the movie.
Oh, right, to 2006, and then gotcha.
Yeah, it took them 9 years from coming up with the idea to actually make the graphic novel.
But they had already bought the rights to the movie since the beginning. That's so crazy.
The movie rights were bought in 1997.
They pitched this like, we're going to make a show. We're going to call it Baywatch. Like, great, go.
Well, yeah, I mean, people get sold for treatments or bought.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, let's look at the plot here. In 1873, gunslingers Zeke Jackson and Verity Jones are hired to protect a caravan headed to Silver City, Arizona, where there's a silver mine. They are ambushed by Apache Indians in the desert, and the two groups witness the crash landing of an alien spaceship. Its inhabitants, led by Commander Rado Dar, exterminate some of the Indians, allowing Zeke and Verity to escape as the aliens set out to conquer the planet Earth. While the aliens regroup and destroy a nearby fort, Zeke and Verity arrive at Silver City with the settlers, only to discover that, aside from a handyman, most of the town's inhabitants left after it was discovered that the silver mines were empty. The Cowboys are attacked by aliens riding in flying motorcycle-like vehicles and are chased to a cliff, where they are rescued by Apache Indians led by Chief Medicine Crow and warrior Warhawk, who ambush the aliens. The two groups decide to join forces in order to defeat the aliens and scavenge the fallen ones for weapons. Zeke steals a microwave-emitting pistol. Verity steals an energy whip. Warhawk steals X-ray goggles, and the other Indians steal explosives that they attach to their arrows. A blacksmith uses the scraps of the motorcycles to forge anti-gravity horseshoes that allow the Indians to fly on flying horses.
Huh.
I want to watch that movie.
I know. I want to see the flying horses.
That sounds so cool.
Um,
Flying motorcycle.
Yeah.
They got a space whip. Man.
Yeah.
X-ray goggles.
X-ray
When a
goggles.
problem comes along, face whip it.
electric whip it.
Oh, that's it. Electric. I did electric whippets. They're wild.
Which character would Harrison Ford play in this adaptation? Okay, so if this is the story that they made the graphic novel into, why did the movie become this other thing?
Yeah,
I'll get into
Hollywood.
that.
I'm not seeing in this description. I'm not seeing a cattle baron. Yeah, the Apaches show up way earlier, which is
And this
seems
they
cool.
definitely look like Apaches, but they say they're Chiricahuas.
Chiricahua Apaches.
I think that this should have been called Cowboys and Indians versus Aliens, but that's just me. Because ultimately, it is Cowboys and Indians versus
Cowboys
aliens.
and Indians and aliens.
And Ted and Alice.
Like, because they're already on the nose with the aliens thing. They're already coming out with it. Might as well say, it's, versus aliens. Cowboys and Indians versus aliens would be cool. Maybe a sequel. That's true. That's true. That's very fair.
I don't know. Did we care in 2011?
In 2011, I don't think people cared. That's very true.
That changed one day I woke up and we cared. Okay.
So I wanted to leave the plot synopsis on a high note with anti-gravity horseshoes and flying horses. The Cowboys and the Indians win, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course they do. All right. Thank you, Al. That brings us to the production of the film. Well, the development of the film to start with. So, the reason the movie bears little resemblance to the graphic novel is because they started developing the script 8 years before the graphic novel was published.
So is that happening independent?
Yes, that is happening independently of the graphic novel. The reason it was 9 years is because they weren't really working on the graphic novel. They got to a point in the mid 2000s where in order to have something with the rights revert or something, they had to actually publish the graphic novel.
Publish it for copyright reasons. Yeah, like Al said, it sounds like it's a product house.
Yeah,
Rosenberg put together.
Yeah, no,
here's an idea, and then we'll make sure it's in as many mediums as we can to own it.
Yeah, very much so. So in 1997, Steve Odekirk, not Steve Odenkirk, but Steve Odekirk,
yep.
The writer, was working on this. He wrote like The Nutty Professor, The Clumps, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, Barnyard, Evan Almighty. He's kind of just a Hollywood comedy writer for hire.
Utility, yeah.
Yeah. So he worked on it in the late 90s. And then it kind of just sat fallow until 2004 when the rights were originally bought by Universal and DreamWorks. In 2004, it got acquired by Columbia Pictures. However, DreamWorks still owned a stake in it.
So Spielberg liked it.
Yeah, exactly. And
this is right up his alley.
Spielberg.
Yeah, it is.
He
would have made it.
Well, Spielberg is listed as executive producer, and Spielberg had creative input into this film.
Yeah, I bet.
Direct creative input. Along with Brian Glazer and Ron Howard, they are also producers on this.
Crazy.
Yep.
Seeing all those. Well, it's funny. We'll get to there when the movie starts, but their names are floating in the beginning of the movie like it's a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and all of the executive producers and the producers, their names are important enough.
Yeah, you don't usually
in the movie.
You don't usually
itself.
get the producer names right up at front.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
It's one thing to have an actor's name in blah blah blah.
It's usually actors then directed by. You don't usually get those producer credits there,
unless it's like Dino De Laurentiis or something where the producer is a name in and of themselves. Because he didn't make Dune, but he did.
No. Yeah,
it wouldn't have happened without him. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So I went to Columbia in 2004. They didn't do much with it. 2006, the graphic novel came out. And then in 2008, Robert Downey Jr. entered negotiations to star in the film as Zeke Jackson. While on the set of Iron Man 2, RDJ told Jon Favreau about it. So Jon Favreau got interested and entered negotiations to direct the film. At that point, RDJ left to make Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. Yes. And they hired Daniel Craig to replace him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. I don't know if I could. Robert Downey Jr. I like Daniel Craig's sort of.
I think Daniel
quiet
Craig.
confusion.
Yeah. I think Daniel Craig was really good in this.
I just didn't like his accent anytime he talked. I was like, he just needs to talk less. Even though he was talking very little.
He didn't talk much. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. I think he just should have done his Knives Out accent. Well, I do declare.
Well, oh my God. Honestly, I think that's why he does that voice, is because he gets mocked for this. Because this is just like such like a flat performance. He sounds like us, like this kind of like Midwestern-y American bland accentless thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's not doing a Western accent.
Well, they're all in Arizona. It's arguable.
Yeah.
People think we have an accent.
Well, and his partner is British or Scottish or something, and they could easily be two immigrants who came to the West to shoot people up,
So, all right.
I think it would convolute I think being an amnesiac, it kind of the flat affect sort of is lent.
That's true. That works, especially for us as Americans too. Having him be amnesiac and not have that accent, we'd be like, well, he's obviously British.
I didn't notice his American accent all that much.
I didn't find it distracting personally, but
it felt like how everybody talks about Benedict Cumberbatch. To me,
really? Because Cumberbatch.
It felt like
Cumberbatch is the worst.
Obviously bad.
The worst.
The chewing on words thing is what it sounded like. It's that same kind of like enunciation with your mouth in weird ways.
Okay, so while
well, yeah, but like they're aping the shape, but it's like it all ends up sounding weird because they're overdoing it. At least that's what Cumberbatch sounds like to me.
Oh yeah, no, I know it. Yeah, no,
he's terrible.
Yeah, he really
is.
But because this is so downplayed, it's just super subtle. I still think he should have talked less.
So all right, while it was in development there, after RDJ came on board, he's the one that kind of kickstarted it getting going again. Him and then bringing in Jon Favreau, hot off Iron Man. It went through a number of screenwriters. There are 6 credited writers on this movie, which is always a good sign. So starting with Robert Orci, who is a writer on Fringe, Xena Princess Warrior, Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, The Island, and the Transformers movies.
Yeah, I mean, it was made by committee, and now we're finding it absolutely was made by committee.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was.
Yeah. Alex Kurtzman was a writer on this. He did the Transformers, The Amazing Spider-Man, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Mark Fergus did
Fergus and Hawk.
Fergus, yep, Mark Fergus and Hawk Otsby. They're a writing team. They are both credited on this. They have credits on Iron Man, and Children of Men. The Expanse. They're the team behind The Expanse.
That's why I recognized their name. I was like, I recognize that name.
Yeah.
That's weird. And Children of Men is one of the best science fiction dystopia movies.
Yeah, Children of Men is great. And last but not least, Damon Lindelof has a writing credit on
Lost
this.
fame?
More importantly, The Leftovers and Watchmen.
Oh, that's right. The
Oh,
Watchmen
right.
adaptation.
And
Yeah.
again, anyone who hasn't watched The Leftovers, watch The Leftovers.
Oh.
Good fucking
still haven't.
show. Watch Brian, you will love The Leftovers. Watch it.
Oh.
That is so up your alley. Yeah, so a lot of writers. Of course, Jon Favreau. We've talked about him many times on this show. No need to go into that. Daniel Craig, is this outside of his Stormtrooper cameo in Force Awakens? Have we
Where?
done a Daniel Craig film?
Swore
We haven't
that
done any
have, but-
Bonds.
Or Knives Out, or the one
Yeah.
Kentucky bank robber movie.
I don't think we've done
Huh.
a Daniel Craig film prior to this on this show. I mean, obviously,
And we've just talked about him. That's interesting.
yeah. Outside of The Force Awakens, in which he had an uncredited cameo.
He was almost Balder in what's it called? Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, yeah.
He was supposed to be the fifth chair that was empty or whatever.
Yeah. Obviously, he's James Bond. I mean, he's Daniel Craig. He was also great in Munich. I thought he was really great in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I like him, just period.
Yeah. And Detective Benoit Blanc is one of my favorite insane characters.
Oh, yeah. I love him.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, obviously, we've talked about Harrison Ford many times. We just did our whole indie series. We did Star Wars on patreon.com/harmless entertainment. We did we have one of our monthly movies was Once American Graffiti.
Yeah. I feel like he showed up.
Yeah.
I feel like he had a performance.
At
This
one
might be his most emotional performance in years.
right. At one point he said, "Get off my planes."
Oh.
Yeah, he has an arc. Maybe Daniel Craig's character has an arc, but his does.
Yeah.
They found enough time to show us that he feels a little differently about indigenous people.
and like maybe he wants his son not to be such a shithead.
They're all talking. What war? They must be talking the Spanish American. No, what war are they talking about?
It's got to
I
be
think the
Civil
Civil
War.
War.
Is that over by the 1870s? I thought that was.
Yeah. Civil War was 60 to 64.
It was.
Yeah, so this is
Okay,
probably
cool.
1870s.
Thanks.
So
yeah.
his kid was probably
Yeah, I was
born
1886. What was it? All right. Anyways, yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. Big question. Which side did Harrison Ford's character in this movie fight on in the Civil War?
I think the Union.
Yeah, I think the Union.
They were the ones dispatched to clean up the natives after this.
Maybe, hey, they're in Arizona. Maybe he was at Picacho. 3 men died.
He might have. 3 men died at Picacho. That's right.
The
The
that's the
westernmost battle.
Yeah.
yeah.
crazy.
And like 7 dudes showed. Like,
Yeah, it's like
I
a
would have
couple
totally
of dudes.
just been
They just running
like,
into
I'm not
each other on the
feeling
road.
well today. I think the Confederacy's doing fine over there in Mississippi, right?
Olivia Wilde as Ella Swenson. Wow, is this our first Olivia Wilde movie?
We didn't do Tron, right?
We did not do Tron. At this point, I feel like she's more a director than an actress, but you know, she got her start.
She's boring.
Yeah. Oh, when I saw her show up in this film, I was like, that is a face that has seen an iPhone. And then when she turns
Yes.
out to be an alien, I was like, all right, I can buy the casting
right.
now.
Yes. A
Yeah.
face that has seen an iPhone. Wow.
It's an interesting way to put it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a I don't know if you guys haven't heard that. That's a thing that's like on like in casting. They talk about like any period piece, people that just don't feel like they belong in the past.
Yeah. Pretty much everybody else does fit. But most of the cast is male. It's easy to make a male a believable cowboy.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said that, but they don't have to do much.
Yeah.
Scruffy hair, beard.
Yeah. I mean, I can see there's plenty of actresses that I think could pull off being in the Old West, but Olivia Wilde, I was like, she just sticks out.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I hadn't heard that before, but it makes sense. It's like, I'm sure Tom Holland could act in a Western, but he would look out of place no matter what. You're way too soft.
Well, not even that he's soft. He's too much of a gymnast. Like, he would be in a circus.
He's a little fella. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think he fits that bill, like Olivia Wilde. That was the first example I could think of where, like, he would look anachronistic. Is that the word I want? I absolutely think that the reason Tom Holland got cast as Nathan Drake is because he can hang from ledges really good. Anyways.
Who's Nathan?
Uncharted, the Uncharted movie.
It's a video game movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the video game, you spend a lot of time going like this along ledges.
But the video game character is very...
What was that 8-bit game like that?
The video game
Jungle
character
something?
was... Jungle
Run?
Jungle Jim? I can't remember. The video game character Nathan Drake was very clearly based on Nathan Fillion, so casting Tom Holland was ridiculous.
With Mark Wahlberg as his like elderly
the dude was
mentor.
like 65 years old in the game. What the fuck? Anyways,
but he's supposed to be mentoring him.
Yeah.
Like Mark Wahlberg as a mentor.
He's like, hey, you should beat up Korean immigrants, man.
Tell your mom I said hi.
Yeah. Olivia Wilde, anyway, she got her start. Girl Next Door was her first film. She was on the OC, a regular on the OC. She was a regular on House. And yeah, she's just a real boring actress, I think, personally.
Brian just unmuted himself to go, not even with a sound.
But she's, like I said, she's better known these days as an actress. Oh no, she was Gozer. She was Gozer in Afterlife.
We just saw her
That's
in
right.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, that, huh.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Anyways,
Wild.
But yeah, Booksmart was a great movie, and Don't Worry, Darling was not a great movie. So she's batting about.
I don't
500.
think it was terrible. I kind of enjoyed it, but maybe that's Florence Pugh because she's on my I could watch her reading the phone book kind of.
What is Booksmart?
Booksmart is a one crazy night movie about two teenage girls that are trying to get laid.
Oh,
One of them, Seth Rogen or Jonah Hill's little sister.
Yeah, it's a really fun teenage comedy. Like it's really, I liked it quite a bit.
I always thought she was funny.
It was described a lot as Gen Z girl Superbad.
Oh, that's cool.
See that?
Let's see. We've got Sam Rockwell as Doc. Good old Sam Rockwell.
This cast, man.
This cast is incredible.
It's insane. Yeah. If you were making just a Western, you wouldn't have to change any of the cast.
Yeah.
Except maybe Wild.
No. I kind of was like, honestly, I kind of liked just the Western parts best.
I did too. Yes, so did I.
That's ultimately to my original complaint. That's why this cast is so damn good. I just wanted this movie to feel like the Western that it could have been with aliens in it. Keep the aliens and all that shit. Just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm starting to see what you mean. Yeah.
I think my complaint is with cinematography and editing more than anything. Like, it just didn't look.
Well, and frankly, the editing.
You're right. It was very flashy, very MCU.
Well, and honestly, the aliens' design and CGI was all super generic and forgettable.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I sometimes, save for Predator, Alien, sometimes I don't like when the creatures are very advanced technologically, but then seem just like brute creatures who can barely communicate. They wear nothing. I don't mean clothes, but like no armor, no...
Yeah.
Where they seem simultaneously primitive and advanced at the same time.
Absolutely.
I don't usually like that.
Yeah, they're monsters that are running like, instead of...
Right.
like
They look like those creatures that Thanos had as his like cannon fodder.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just
whereas,
they weren't that intelligent, but they could follow orders.
This is like 3 steps simplified from the Independence Day aliens,
Yeah.
which were weird, but still like not a crazy design. But they opened up and stuff, and they had like high
Right.
technology, but they weren't threatening it also in real life.
right.
I
Like
made these guys real
These
weird.
just seem like 4-legged kind of animal creatures
Yeah.
that you would just throw CGI, like the ones Thanos has. You know,
It seemed
you never
like
even
they're-
get a good look at those things.
nah.
They seem like they were working for a bigger managerial alien or something.
That's what I
Like,
would think. Yeah.
Yeah, they
No,
didn't
I'm
seem
with you
to be in
because they don't
charge
seem
of
to
this
be the
operation.
master race of
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
species. Yeah, or their
Yeah,
ecosystem, whatever you call
They
it.
did mention that these were just scouts
but I mean,
at some point.
There's-
They're also
but they've
mining
set up
gold.
shop.
I'm
Yeah.
just
the mining gold.
Yeah,
Well, and
I'm not
this-
saying it's out of
yeah.
place in context with the film. I just have a problem sometimes.
No,
when, you know, it's like they've mastered all this interstellar travel, but then all they can do is like
Run
Like,
around
they
and
don't-
poke people
we don't
with their
even see
long
them-
arms.
interact with each other.
Right. I have a hard time believing these aliens
I don't
that
care.
this particular species would come up with this technology.
Well,
Yeah,
and that
I
they
don't
could
need
s-
them to be humanoid to be believable. They don't have to look like people to be intelligent, but
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
alien,
they just
the
seem
alien,
like drooling beasts.
the alien in Aliens doesn't fly a spaceship for a reason.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and
like these guys fly a spaceship, but also have that like predatorial, must kill everything.
well, and to
thing.
speak to like Predator, like Predator is a big, strong, scary beast who also uses a lot of technology and is clearly very intelligent and strategic.
As an intelligence, yeah.
Whereas these are just angry monsters coming to stab
These
you with
seem
their
like
knife
what
hands.
the actual aliens would use to fight.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what.
like
these
you
seem
said
like.
with Thanos' beasts, like they're
Yeah.
they're war dogs. They're not like
Yes.
guys who could like go like, oh, we have to navigate back to the planet we came from and let them know that
Right.
we found people in golden water or whatever. Like,
They're just poking at humans. We find out they're there for gold, but they're just like slice cut.
but they're doing
Gold.
science. They're trying different energy weapons to see what vaporizes us. I guess was kind of the experiment.
I
but,
guess, but also like
Just
But how is
probing.
that guy doing that experiment with his big pokey things?
We've reached the extent of what anal probing can tell us.
yeah,
his
he has
middle
to,
hands?
Well, he has to have his inside hands
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah. He's all, let's do it Krang style.
But so what? One of Spielberg
Open your mind.
Spielberg's one of Spielberg's suggestions was that they have a Uber alien that's in charge of all the other aliens, so that there's like a personal thing, and
Yeah.
that's what the one that Daniel Craig gave this face scar to was supposed to be. But I don't think they pulled it off.
No, it was just an alien with a grudge. That's all it felt
Yeah,
like. It
he
felt
was-
like you cut my face and now you're back here. I don't know why, but I'm gonna kill you the way I killed you the first.
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't
gonna
get
kill
the
you
idea that
first
that was
time.
the head alien, which is what they were
No,
trying
I didn't even
to do.
keep track of them after that.
Yeah. It
I
didn't
didn't
seem
even notice which one
particularly.
had the eye.
It didn't seem malicious. It just seemed convenient, and for him in the moment, being like, "Yeah, yeah, that's him." Like that's not enough for it to feel like these annoying pests are now. Like Thanos being, I mean, of course, that's a high bar to compare things to, but him being like, it wasn't personal, but now it's personal. Like that you want a big mean alien to do that, and this guy,
Yeah.
yeah,
And these, they didn't have enough character to take things personally for us to care.
Yeah,
You know?
I think the
Like Olivia Wilde, her species seemed pretty advanced
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
but all her race can do is show up and be like, "This is what they're up to."
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it convenient that her species that she showed up? She was like, "I took this form so I could blend in." Isn't it convenient she decided to show up as a hot young girl and not like an old prospector guy?
Yeah. Yeah, she stands out just as much. Like, oh, you look like you don't own a merkin.
Yeah, exactly. You look like you bathe more than
Yeah, you like you've had
ever.
a bath
Yeah.
that didn't have 6 other cowboys in it first.
Also, you clearly tweeze your eyebrows a lot and are wearing a ton of
I love
mascara.
Oh, I love grooming in period pieces.
So Sam Rockwell.
Okay, yeah, Sam Rockwell. We have spoken about him before in our Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy episode. Probably some others.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
Oh,
Quest.
yeah.
Yeah, he plays Guy.
Red shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
Justin Hammer.
He is Justin Hammond. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's old timey dancing, but he dances in this too.
He does dance in this. He dances in every single movie.
Finds
he's
a way
in.
to dance.
He
Yeah.
does.
I love Rockwell so much.
I don't know if we
So do I.
mentioned this at the time, but he did read for and was in the running to play Tony Stark in the first Iron Man.
Makes sense. I mean,
could've
he's
seen
definitely not. He's not
Minor
second or
league.
third choice, but I could see him pulling it off.
Yeah. He wouldn't. It would. The MCU wouldn't be what it was if he had been
No.
cast. So you know.
I mean, it's like the
he has
Justified
bravado.
guy being it too.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Walton Goggins?
No.
Oh,
Walton
Timothy
Goggins.
Oliphant.
Timothy
Yeah.
Oliphant. Yeah,
The Elephant.
Yeah.
he was just a good-looking dude, but it wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
Yeah. Paul Dano as Percy Dollarhide. We talked about him on The Batman.
All these guys I can watch do anything.
This cast is insane.
Paul.
Yeah,
Paul.
right down to Clancy Brown.
Yeah. Paul Dano.
We haven't even hit Adam Beach. Like,
Oh, no.
Right,
there are
Adam
so many Oscar winners in this movie.
Paul Dano is one of those guys who plays like snotty little shithead, like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But he is not that guy,
No.
which is so crazy to me. That like he doesn't have the Michael Cera kind of reputation in Hollywood, where it's like, God, that guy's terrible to work with.
Oh, no,
it's like Jesse
he's considered
Plemons.
an actor.
Yeah, like Jesse Plemons,
Plemons,
where people are
yeah.
like, he's a fucking terrifying dude to watch, but like, wow, such a nice guy when you see him in interviews. He seems very like, yeah, people
Yeah.
think I'm a murderer. It's like a dickhead from This Man Has No Dick, Dickless from
Oh yeah.
After
Ghostbusters, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, well, the first time we sort of met Jesse Plemons was as Todd in Breaking Bad, and from the first episode Todd's in, it's like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Fuck that
Yeah.
guy.
Woo, what
And
a
then
good
in
character.
El Camino,
Oh yeah, his whole
ice
Aryan
cream.
group.
which again I think it's hilarious that like there was like a 6-month period where Todd like gained a lot of weight and then lost it again right before Walter came back to town.
Hey,
Yeah.
He couldn't handle
His,
the
wife-
rejection from Lydia.
His wife had to talk him into doing Civil War. He did not
Yeah,
want to play that character,
Yeah, I can't
but I
play.
hear he does a great job.
yeah.
But yeah, Paul Dano, he's considered an actor. He's
Yeah.
not like a young personality.
Absolutely. The kid in this, what is the character's name? Emmett Taggart
Emmett
is played
That's
by
right.
Noah Ringer. He also played Aang in the Last Airbender movie directed by
Oh.
M. Night Shyamalan.
That's why I recognized his face. That's funny. I've seen him in the memes. I've never seen the movie, but
Yeah.
making fun of
That
that
yeah,
avatar.
yeah. Clancy Brown plays the preacher. Fucking Clancy Brown, man.
We've talked about him.
Yeah.
That voice.
Yeah. He's
Mr. Krabs.
Yes.
Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs. Yeah, he was in Shawshank. What movie? We did a movie with him recently.
Yeah,
He's
we
in
did.
the one of the Justice League, not Justice League.
What was he in? Chappaquiddick. He played Robert McNamara in Chappaquiddick. Crazy.
Hey, McNamara. Wow.
All right.
He's way more badass than McNamara was.
Oh fuck yeah.
Little dork.
God,
Robert
what have we
McNamara.
talked about him in recently? That's crazy. I'm looking through this and I'm not seeing anything.
He was in the last revival season of Dexter, and he was really fun to watch in that, kind of playing a dry.
We did talk about him.
We did.
recently.
What did we talk about him in?
I feel like a couple times.
Oh, he was.
Was he in?
He did a.
Thor Ragnarok.
He did a voice role in-
Sorry, that
Oh
was,
yes,
Oh, he's
he's
Surtur.
Surtur.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like that was it, though. That's so weird. I don't know what we talked about him in, but yeah, he's Clancy Brown. Keith Carradine as the Sheriff John Taggart.
Also from Dexter. That's funny.
Keith Carradine.
All the Carradines did a bunch of westerns.
Yeah.
Throughout their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's see. He was in what is he? Nashville. That's Deadwood. He played Wild Bill in Deadwood.
Deadwood. Yeah.
This is in the first season of Fargo.
That's
Really
right.
good in that.
That's right. Yeah. He is the father of John Carradine. That's his place in the Carradine family. And then Adam Beach as Nat Colorado. Adam Beach. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Walker, Texas Ranger. He was in Joe Dirt. Oh, man.
That's right. Adam Beach is so good.
He was Slipknot in Suicide Squad. With the
Code Talkers also.
Yes.
He won an Oscar, I think.
Did he win an Oscar?
I think for that. I think the movie did.
He was in Power of the Dog. Speaking of Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst. But yeah.
And Bumberbatch, right?
Oh, and Bumbercatch. Yeah. Abigail Spencer played Jake's love interest that got killed by the aliens. She's, she was in Oz the Great and Powerful. And let's see, that rounds out.
Walton Goggins.
Oh, there we go. Walton Goggins as Hunt. Walton Goggins. I mean, freaking Walton Goggins, Justified, as we mentioned.
But we talked about him in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah,
and I feel like something else, but yeah.
Yeah,
he's crushing it in Fallout.
Yeah, he's great in Fallout as the Ghoul.
Well, and as the Hollywood star, he does just as good a job.
Yes.
Yeah, Cooper Howard.
Yeah, Walton Goggins is great. He's in Crow Salvation.
He really was born to play that role in Fallout, man.
Yeah.
Playing both those two sides of the coin so well.
He was he was in Django Unchained. I forgot about that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lincoln,
and he steals the show in Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Steals it.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Best performance in a movie full of stellar performances. It's like, how do you stand out with that crew? But he does, man.
Yep. Oh, and Wyatt Russell is in this thing. Huh. As
really?
Little Mickey. Oh. Is he
so little you don't see him?
I think he's one of the cowhands. I don't know. I don't know who the hell Little Mickey is. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure he works for.
Yeah.
What's his name? Dollar Ride.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's about it for the production. This movie has 44% critic score, 43% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, 2.3 on Letterboxd. I've got a couple Letterboxd reviews here.
All right.
Letterboxd user The Last Kelton writes, "What if a bowl of cold oatmeal cost $160 million? 2 stars."
Okay.
I understand the 2 stars for casting. Gotta give him something.
Give it at least that.
Yeah. And Letterboxd user Post Kevinism writes, "Daniel Craig gets spit on by Paul Dano. Me. Jealous."
Huh. Paul Dano, huh? Weird.
Yeah.
There's hope for everybody, I guess.
According to Jude, after the Batman, he became a Gen Z crush heartthrob guy on
Weird.
TikTok. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me.
Yeah.
It's just weird to hear it.
Yeah.
He's very emo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the attraction.
Yeah. So that's about it. You guys ready to jump into the movie?
Pew, pew, pew.
Sorry, I just
Yeehaw.
woke up. I don't know where I got this jewelry from. I swear, officer.
Here this is Cowboys and Aliens. We open on the New Mexico territory, 1873. A man awakens in just his long johns. He's injured. He's in the desert. He's got himself a strange metal bracelet attached to his left wrist and a photograph of a lady. He has no memory. He gets approached by a group of men who thinks he's an escaped convict. They try to take him in, so he kills them all and takes all their stuff, including their dog.
This had Terminator vibes.
Right.
The way
just
he
appearing.
jumps at the dude on the horse, I thought there was
I
something
love that.
supernatural about him.
Yeah. I vaguely thought that he was like part alien or something when I was rewatching this, going like, what's with the... Is he already have powers?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't. It's just like a
Yeah.
Jason Bourne situation. But yeah, it ends up being that he's not enhanced in any way.
Yeah.
He's just John Wick from
He
the.
just does a lot of push-ups, I guess, for a
Yeah.
bank
Yeah.
robber.
just really good at it.
Yeah, exactly. He rides into the nearby town of Absolution. He just walks into a random house. Luckily, it's owned by a friendly preacher who sews up his wounds.
I assumed it was also the chapel. That's
Yeah.
why he walked in.
Okay, yeah.
They did show the
Fire.
thing at the front of a
Mm,
That's arguably the
of a
safest place
church
in,
room. I don't.
yeah.
in an old west town. You know,
Words fail me.
The God Room.
the God room.
Yeah.
The Jesus Lounge.
Yeah.
I think I saw pews also.
It's the one place where people wash themselves before they go there.
Yeah, it's the only
And
place
well,
where you can wash
and
your
sanctuary.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're supposed to be able to go into any church.
ring
Yeah.
the bells inside. And
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm the hunchback.
Look at
Out
me
of my
go.
way.
I want to see Daniel Craig play the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Shredded.
With just like a perfectly round little lump on one shoulder.
Yeah, he doesn't even hunch over.
What hump?
It's a real
like-
Marty Feldman thing.
But no, it's like half of a softball, just like on sitting on top of a shoulder.
The tumor-ridden guy of Notre Dame.
The subdural hematoma of Notre Dame.
What was
You don't
the
have to
HBO
live like
show?
this.
What was the HBO show? Please remove my tumor.
Okay.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, outside, little shithead Percy Dollarhide is just being a general asshole to everybody.
Oh man, he is eating this whole scene up though. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it's a trope in westerns, but it was true. Ranchers ran the Southwest. They were the law.
Yeah.
I refer you to the historical documentaries Young Guns.
But yeah, they were like they were the corporation. It was a corporate town, and
Yeah.
they were the.
That- That's
You
right.
can afford
They
your own
built the town.
security, and there's only one sheriff.
His dad's the big old bad cattle baron around these parts. He picks on Doc, the local saloon owner and doctor, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it was a doc, and then he wanted to settle down. His wife mentioned something about this was his dream.
To own a saloon in a small town. And
I think he was the mines doctor before it closed down.
oh, okay.
That's my reading of him being the doctor. Like they've been there and they stayed instead of leaving.
Yeah, that makes sense because he's not handy with the pistol or anything like that. So I think he was brought in to be a town or a mine doctor. Yeah.
And he met her, when somebody, because she's from the area.
Local girls.
In your area.
In case you couldn't tell by her dress.
Hot alien chicks in your area.
Wait, this is still Arizona. This is still Mexico.
Well, no. It's New Mexico territory.
I forget.
Yeah,
I forget.
which is what we
Gadsden
were for.
Purchase is the last part, and Yuma's not Tucson.
Well, they acquired us before we got to be an actual state.
Yeah.
But the Arizona territory was slightly higher at this time.
Yeah.
So,
but it's the Chiricahua Mountains, so it's southeast of here.
Yeah.
And Al's right. They did mention Arivaca, which would have been one of the bigger settlements at that time in the southeast area.
Yeah. One of the more known settled ones. And
mining and cattle.
Yeah, several mines. I mean, there's the Ruby mine, but of course there's also the mines that are like northeast there in the area that's now Green Valley. Those were active.
Yep. And all cattle ranch area still is open range.
Yeah. No, the number of cows I've had to stop for who then slowly just bumped their heads into my car as I'm waiting for them to pass. I'm like, come on, assholes.
You owe the rancher. If you kill a cow, you got to pay for it.
Yeah. They don't fuck around with that shit.
No, they don't.
Doc gets picked on. He tries to extort money from the township, including Daniel Craig, who we still don't know his name at this point. Daniel Craig just gives him a ball tap.
Yeah.
Just a little smack in the balls. Percy gets mad and accidentally wings a deputy in the arm.
Did he accidentally wing the deputy? Because he turned and shot that dude right in the arm.
Well, he just swung his arm that way, but he did recklessly sort of shoot to his left, even though Craig was in front of him. I think he wanted to fire the gun to scare.
Yeah, the way it was shot, it seemed to me, at least the way that I was watching it seemed like he just went oh, I'm not going to kill this guy. I'm going to shoot this guy. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I don't think he turned his whole body. I don't think he looked.
I think he was just trying to shoot off into nothing and didn't realize the deputy was there.
Because we watched
too dumb to shoot up.
We watched the guy get shot, and we had previously been in his perspective. It was weird. I don't know. I was reading it weird.
Yeah, I don't think
I felt like I misinterpreted this whole scene.
I don't think the intention was to shoot the deputy, but who knows? Yeah. Who knows with Percy?
It was an accident.
He's a wild one.
Percy says he didn't mean to do it, that it was an accident. He doesn't turn and look at the guy. I'm just saying. But he just puts his arm up.
But so the sheriff comes and arrests him. Percy's, I don't want to say friend, but Nat, the who's with Percy, runs off to tell his boss, Percy's dad, what happened.
His aide de camp.
Yeah.
The cops showed up real fast.
Well,
I mean, it's across the street.
Yeah, there's seven buildings in the town, I suppose.
They were hassling a homeless guy at the bus stop across town. It was a sort of a Robert Duvall, Sonny Corleone situation where Percy was his actual son, but he had obviously adopted and raised Nat. So it was watch out for the simple son, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Handler.
Yeah.
Percy's handler.
Yeah, a handler. The voice of reason. Exactly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, some ways away, a drunk cowhand and a couple other cowhands are watching over the cows, I guess, when the drunk one goes to take a shit in the river. And his companions and all the cows get destroyed by some crazy lights.
Broadway.
Yeah.
So what happened right there? The crazy lights.
Why? Well,
and why was there an explosion?
Well, I mean,
you've heard of cow mutilations, right? You've heard of that supposed phenomena.
Was this ship shot at or something?
Well, I do wonder why the aliens attacked these three guys and their cows.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to take the other two cowhands because he said they disappeared, and they just blew up the cows.
But yeah, why blow up the cows? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. None of this makes sense.
I don't think they make a lot of sense. The aliens.
Yeah. They
also,
really
the
don't.
lights were super low when that happened. Like at every other point, they're like super high up when they're stealing people. I don't know. It's just weird. When he jumps in the river, the lights are like directly over the water, and there's like a lot of.
Well, they're over where those. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody else is getting picked up from like 55 feet up, just like flying over. They're shooting a little like razor wire thing around them and snagging them into the air.
Well, it was like what we said about the dissection and shit. I think they're just fucking with us. I think they're trying to see what life on this planet can handle.
Yeah.
They seem more brutish than scientific. So I don't know. That's me.
They do.
Maybe they just hate cows.
Maybe
they fart a lot.
Maybe they're like, what happens if you push this button? Sometimes it's as simple as that.
So back in town, Daniel Craig goes into the saloon, but the sheriff recognizes him as a wanted outlaw. One of the other wanted posters did have Jon Favreau's face on it.
Yeah.
He recognizes him as a wanted outlaw, Jake Lonergan. They changed his name from Zeke whatever to Jake.
Jake's a good Western name.
He attempts to arrest him. Jake really does have some John Wick shit going on. Like, he knows the sheriff comes in like behind his back. Like, yeah. Jake nearly escapes.
Supernatural.
Yeah. Jake nearly escapes, but Olivia Wilde, pretending named Ella Swenson in this, bops him on the head and he gets arrested.
Yeah, she just seems thirsty until it's revealed she's an alien as well.
Yeah.
Like she's following him. It's like, okay, she probably knows something that he can't remember, but she just seems like she's thirsty, just hot on his trail. Like, I'm going to follow this sexy guy, see where it goes.
Well, and it's confusing because she's not his wife,
No. And they look like, really similar.
Yeah, it's like, who's this lady? There's this other lady in your dreams. What? Oh, she's an alien.
Yeah,
she's real curious about. She's real curious about his armband.
Yeah,
where are you from? I want to know where you're from.
I'm really curious about where's her ship? What is her species? What is her deal? What is the deal with this alien?
She's like a Silver Surfer type. Like, she shows up to tell people what's really happening with the more advanced aliens.
I assumed that she came with the ship of aliens.
Oh,
that she's
really?
the sole survivor from their planet.
Oh,
and she figured out a way to like get onto an advanced scout ship at the end of their planet's destruction or something.
So she's a part. You're saying she's the same species?
No. I'm saying that she was on the last planet that they took, basically.
Oh,
because they're probably just like locusts. I think that was kind of what they were getting at. Also, with the design of them, is they kind of look like locusts. They kind of look like bugs, and that's a big thing.
They do look like bugs. They almost looked like a cheaper version of the prawns.
Yeah.
District 9, like a.
I wish they had
version.
looked like that more. I mean, just anything but this. But
even the prawns had an intelligence to them. These just seem like wild animals.
Absolutely.
It was a weird choice.
Except for when they're doing experiments.
Yeah, when they're doing experiments, they're slimy naked bodies.
Yeah, they all have the same like curiosity of like a Dr. Mangala. Like, what the fuck?
Just poking and prodding. That's why I think the light thing, they're like, let's try incinerating these things and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I think they had different levels of ships as well. They had the ones that caught people. And then this might have been a larger, I don't know.
And then they had the like grabby ones also. Yeah, it was not coherent, a lot of the design.
No, it really wasn't. No, it wasn't. And I was waiting to say this, but until we got to, the gold. So they're after gold. The aliens want gold.
Yeah. And all she says is it's as rare to them as it is to you. She doesn't say why they use it or why this alloy is particularly important to them.
But also, gold isn't rare in space
Yeah.
at all, even a little bit. And we knew this in 2011. This isn't new
I don't know that it's rare on Earth. It's just hard to get to. So, you know what I mean? Like, how do we know?
They're
It's
There's this very, very thick.
There's a single. So our asteroid belt is absolutely just crawling with gold, which is part of the reason why the commercialization of space is beginning to happen, because they're like, what if we go get that gold? But there's a single asteroid in our belt that they estimate has $700 quintillion worth of gold on it. One alone.
Yeah. Did you see Don't Look Up, the asteroid movie? Yeah, it's basically that same thing. Like, well, we were going to blow it up, but we found out it's full of lithium and all this other shit we need. So we're going to try to get it.
Yeah. Gold is absolutely not a rare element in space.
Elsewhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. So they don't need to come here for the gold. Apparently they just need to come here for the cattle mutilations and poking people.
And grabbing people like an alien's supposed to.
Like what?
Yeah, it is totally weird. And to not even explain how it's useful to them. Because we use it as currency more than anything. It's used industrially, but
and they use it as some sort of energy thing because it's like floating around inside the ship. Some science fiction, whatever.
10 seconds to say.
Yeah. I would have much rather than like harvesting biology or something. Like life is rare in the universe, and we're harvesting
carbon,
life.
Something that is unique to Earth in some way. Obviously, carbon's not, but it doesn't happen as far as we know other places yet.
Yeah,
anything. Water, like anything.
Yeah, water.
Life, microbes.
Yes, that's true. They need water. They need little underwear for their weird dripping body.
Gold gives them a reason to be in the, I guess, middle of the desert. So,
sure, but also like that's, I don't know.
So
down here we're mostly copper and silver, but they didn't know that then, I suppose.
One of our human uses for gold is in shielding spacecraft from infrared radiation and heat.
Yeah, it is used for sure.
Sure, they still don't need to come to Earth to get a lot of gold.
I do want to say that I loved human uses. So you just.
But to that, I think it would have been interesting. Like, there's a lot of these things that weren't established in any way that is clear, or that, like, not that it needs to be, but also like, well, why?
Right.
If they had been building the shield on their ship using the gold or something,
or to like line their fuel cells so they can get off of Earth or something.
Yeah.
But all she says is that it's rare, and so that implies that it has a value that's intrinsic.
They burned off all their gold getting here.
Besides
they
utility, you know what I mean?
More,
or even like
it's rare. They just want the gold. It's rare to the leprechaun too.
Or even if
it's
like
very leprechaun.
Or even if just like they crashed here and they need this gold to repair their ship.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, exactly. Our fuel cells are lined with gold or plated with gold.
Also,
they just want it. Scrooge McDuck style.
Also, one of the canine uses for gold is kidding.
I was expecting a dog.
That's why I love
fact.
human uses.
Well, look at
like
flashy.
It doesn't turn to
some jewelry on a dog.
Forms. Like raccoons use it to get into strip clubs in Atlanta.
Raccoons use it to replace their teeth.
That's true. They do. Oh my God, they would have gold teeth if they could.
Oh my God,
those animals are wild.
Oh my God, raccoons are something else. Yeah, they are. No, raccoons would 100% be in strip clubs with gold teeth.
Absolutely. Washing their chicken wings.
No cap.
No cap at all.
So, meanwhile, while after he gets bopped on the head, Daniel Craig remembers some stuff about aliens and his lady that he liked. Meanwhile, Percy's dad, Colonel Woodrow Dollarhide, is torturing the drunk cowhand because he thinks he killed the cows and the other cowhands.
I think that's another indication that he was a Union soldier, is because he doesn't even want to be referred to as colonel. I don't know. If you read a lot of Union soldiers, they weren't on the side of the South, but they also didn't really like being conscripted by the federal government either.
Yeah.
So a lot of them moved west to be like, fuck Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Back in town. Oh, yeah. Nat arrives, tells him what's going on. They head into town. Back in town, Sheriff Taggart and his men chain Jake and Percy together. They stick them in the back of a jail coach to head to Santa Fe to talk to a judge. Dollarhide arrives with armed men. He demands Percy gets released. He also wants Jake when he realizes Jake stole his gold.
His gold, me gold.
Now, if only the aliens had cobbled shoes.
If only. And obviously they have just a metal detector because they flew over his house and were like, oh, there's a pile of coins. There wasn't a copious amount of gold.
It was a small pile on a table.
They are petty
They
thieves.
sucked up. Yeah, they'll just rip your chain.
Fucking aliens. Coming here, taking our gold and our townsfolk.
And our jobs. Build a space wall.
Good Americans could have been mining that gold.
And flying those
spaceships. Abducting those townsfolk.
Those could have been American jobs that we outsourced.
During this standoff, alien ships arrive and begin attacking the town. A bunch of townsfolk, I just love saying townsfolk, get snatched.
That is something that doesn't exist anymore.
Kind of roped.
Yeah.
Yeah. No beaming up for these guys.
Just sort of space lassoed.
Yeah.
Yeah, which exactly. I think even somebody says that, doesn't he? Harrison Ford.
Yeah, they roped him. Yeah. Apparently, during previews, people got confused and thought they hadn't finished the effects because the roping, it was originally just kind of like looking rope. And so they added a bunch of like lights and made it look futuristic rope.
If it was just rope, I don't know, so that means an alien was weaving rope somewhere. They don't have something better than rope.
They're stealing our gold and our Siskel.
I just keep thinking like
hemp for us.
If we were to replace these aliens with the invasion of what's the classic Tom
Invasion
Cruise
of the
movie.
Body Snatch? Oh,
Not Invasion of the Body
War of the
Snatchers.
Worlds.
War of the Worlds, like the War of the Worlds aliens. This would have been cool. This would have been so cool. Like any invading alien thing.
No, I think how weak the aliens were.
That's its big
conceptually.
That's what hurt it the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have even had like special aliens that just fly those little ships. Like they could have expanded the imagination.
I'm just so tired of CGI, generally kind of vaguely insectoid aliens. Like, God, we've gotten a lot of that shit over the last 30 years.
They're bipedal when they want to be, but then they're not, and they bounce off of things. Like,
they're always crawling on walls and ceilings. Like,
just give me humanoid aliens at that point. It's like, just make them humanoid and just say like, this is what people usually wind up looking like in the universe.
Yeah, be like 2 arms, 2 legs. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good common sense.
It's good horse sense.
So Percy and Jake get out of the get out of their cuffs. Percy gets snatched by the aliens.
No, that was hilarious though. I'm sorry. He's like, I can get us out. And then he just breaks his hand.
Yeah.
He says it like he's got a plan.
It was very James Bond, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't even look. He's just snap and slides it off.
No, I ain't breaking my own hand.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
The sheriff
you spit on me, bro.
The sheriff and Doc's wife also get snatched. Then suddenly Jake's fancy alien bracelet starts lighting up and becomes a weapon, and he shoots down one of the alien ships. The rest of the ships fly off. The townsfolk think it's demons that attacked them. Dollarhide, Ella, and the other townsfolk. Oh yeah, and there's an alien in a building that was, I think, was that the alien that came out of the ship that he shot down, I assume?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And
He took off running.
Yeah, takes off running. So they form a posse to chase him down, but Jake isn't going to go with them. He rides back to his abandoned cabin where in a flashback he remembers the gold and his lady being abducted.
Yep.
So he
These
decides
flashbacks, man. These flashbacks are the worst. The lens effects and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
the whole
like,
flashback effect thing.
Just-
Yeah.
The Vaseline.
Yeah. Like, why?
They
Nothing else is
They might as well have done like the wavy lines.
yeah, or like a fucking star wipe or something,
Yeah.
man. God damn.
Yeah, so he joins the posse.
I'm mad at this movie.
I could tell.
I want it to be so
Yeah.
good.
He joins the posse. They ride out. That evening, they come upon an upside-down steamboat. According to Favreau, this was done as a reference to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah,
Yeah.
the ship in the desert.
Yeah.
It was also based on a real incident. There was a steamboat in the 1870s that left port and just disappeared. They never found it or its remains anywhere on the Mississippi River.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they camp inside the steamboat. Dollarhide bonds with Emmett, the grandson of the sheriff. He gives him a knife and part of an apple. During the night, the alien they're tracking attacks Emmett. The preacher saves him, but ends up dying. The alien kills him. Jake tries to shoot it with the bracelet, but it escapes and runs off into the night.
This
Giggling like a leprechaun.
this death scene. just
You're
like-
after me, gold.
As it runs through the canyon.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
They
to
should've
render
get-
you
they
speechless.
They should have given him red hair. The aliens. That would have given
The
him
alien.
his character.
And a top
Little-
hat.
Yeah.
Buckle shoes.
Buckled
They should have.
shoes.
They should have given him a little toy car.
To drive around.
Just anything.
Woo! So long,
A
suckers.
tricycle. He rides a tricycle.
With his little midsection hands, arms that come out.
His inside arms come out.
This big scary arms out on the outside, still
The
stabbing
inside
stuff.
arms. They ring the bell on the bike. Ching, ching.
See, that would have been cool for a little flying motorcycle thing, because they would have been like
Sure they
stabbing
did.
people and flying the little motorcycle with their little hands.
Their little hands holding the little handlebars.
Open your mind. I
Their
think their brains
four
are
handles.
inside there. I think they've got two brains. See, something like that. I don't know. I'm so mad at this.
No.
This is such
Yeah,
lazy
you're
science
giving
fiction.
it more
man.
than
yeah.
it is.
It's
It was
just-
done by such committee.
like just steal something. Jesus.
Yeah, do anything that's actually interesting with the aliens. By morning, most of the posse has deserted. They have a brief funeral for the preacher, then head on out after the alien. They come to a ravine where they're accosted by bandits who turn out to be part of Jake's old gang. Jake makes them take him and the posse back to their camp. Walton Goggins was immediately just stealing the show. Just like, you were always my favorite, Jake.
I love his little quick turns throughout.
Well, and it's all very Butch Cassidy. Because when they show back up and go to meet up with the hole in the wall gang,
Yeah.
and the big dude's already taken over,
Yes.
Paul Newman has to kick his ass all over again.
Yeah, so he tries to recruit them to join the posse, but the new head of the gang is mad at Jake because he stole the gang's loot after the last heist. He refuses. They're going to kill them all, but then Jake's bracelet activates and he shoots the gang leader. The posse escapes from the gang on horseback. They're being chased by the gang, but then the aliens attack. They kill some of the gang. They abduct Ella. Jake jumps on top of the ship and attacks the alien pilot, causing the ship to crash in the river. But the alien survives and attacks Ella, wounding her before Jake kills it with his wrist blaster.
This whole sequence is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy. He rides a horse to catch up with the spaceship and jumps off the horse into a canyon onto the spaceship while it's traveling, catches the spaceship, and then rides the spaceship. This spaceship had to have slowed down so much, or his timing has to be so good for any of this to work.
I think the spaceship stood in for a train.
Yeah, it was definitely a reference to, I think, Butch Cassidy, right? Where he jumps off a horse onto a train.
Oh, that's not the first time.
Maybe.
Not the first time. Definitely not the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Indiana Jones.
oh yeah, that
Sure.
also.
Yes.
But yeah, like just the
Raiders.
It's happened. Yeah.
it was so weird because he's chasing after this thing, and then he's next to it, and then he's next to it for a long time.
I just saw it as a train, like just
Yeah.
a metaphor for that a cowboy train.
He jumps like halfway across the frame, which is like so far.
We've
I don't
already
know.
established that he's a good jumper.
He's a very good jumper.
He jumped from a prone position onto a man on a horse.
This is
All
this is
werewolf
like
stuff.
Jake Lonergan's character development, though. Not only is he good at jumping
It's good
onto horses, he's good at jumping off of horses
If
too.
it involves horses, he can jump. That's what we know
Yeah.
about Jake.
Like,
Oh, might as well.
and some flashbacks about a lady that he really liked that lived with him.
He likes jumping golden ladies. That's
Who
the
doesn't?
story of Jake Lonergan.
doesn't?
Las Vegas.
Old Jake Lonergan loved the ladies. He loved to jump and he loved his gold.
he was a really good jumper. Look how fast I can run.
Look how fast I can.
So, yeah, Jake carries Ella back to the rest of the remaining posse, but it's too late. She's dead. And just then, they get captured by Chiricahua Apache Native Americans, who blame them for the alien attacks.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah, so would I. Yep.
Like, this feels like white man shit.
This is some real white man bullshit. Yeah.
This isn't us.
That night, they're going to be killed by the Apaches. They throw Ella's corpse into a fire, and she gets resurrected and emerges from the fire, revealing herself to be also an alien.
So is
They're
she the
different
misty
times.
stuff that came out of the fire
guess,
that
I don't
then
know.
reconstituted
Uh-huh.
the body?
I don't know.
Or
It's
she-
just
I
CGI
don't know.
bullshit. I
She
don't
looked
know.
as clean as ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was like fire for a brief moment, and then she got a chance to
Earth
check
and wind.
messages, and then she stepped back into the,
thing, and she was like, "I've
The
decided
Southwest.
to come here as an attractive young lady rather than a
Yeah.
crusty old Western guy."
The other aliens are like, we didn't bother.
Yeah, we're like, wait, we could have been attractive young ladies instead of bugs with
We
inside
could have gone
hands.
Incognito. Instead of
Uh,
roping people.
yeah. So yeah. Anyways, the aliens, they're all about gold and abducting people and conducting experiments on people, and they have superior technology and weaponry.
they
are-
also like to jump.
yeah.
They're big into jumping.
They're also good jumpers.
So, but also,
I love Harrison Ford where she's like, they're after the gold. He's like, so there's gold here? Like, focus, Colonel, focus.
Yeah. So she says that the previous attackers are just scouts. The idea of them being just scouts is that they're going to go back and tell the rest of their alien friends to come to Earth and get all the gold and kill all the humans.
Get all the gold.
All the gold. Here,
like,
which is
probably a few 1,000 pounds of it.
Yeah. There's just enough gold here to not make the trip worth it, but on that asteroid where there's no people that to get in our way, there's more gold than we could ever possibly use.
We're just outside of our solar system at all. Yeah.
Anywhere, yes. So many planets with so much gold, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of gold other places in the galaxy.
On rocky planets
they really
that
needed
have
to tell
no
us
life.
what they use them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I understand they don't care about us and are willing to kill us and like to poke and prod and do shit to us. But also, if they just
We put up a fight.
If they mostly just want the gold, it'd be so much easier to do it on a planet that has no one that wants to fight them for it.
They're not in it for the money, Thoreau. They're in it for the love of the game.
They own a giant pawn shop in space.
They're in it for the anal probing. Yeah. So
aren't we all? I come for the gold. I stay for the anal probe.
You don't come for both?
Well, depends on how excited I am.
She says that Jake holds the secrets to the aliens' location and says they must defeat the aliens before they exterminate life on Earth. So
he has radar on his little wrist thing. He's had it the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The radar was inside you the whole time.
Yeah.
So after the Native Americans give him their medicine, which, let's be clear, it's peyote. They give him peyote.
It's peyote.
Yeah.
Yeah, to remember.
You know what'll make you remember? Hallucinogens.
Yeah, sometimes.
So yeah, he gets his memory back and he remembers that Alice got first vivisected and then turned into a charred, like a coal. Sodom and Gomorrah.
This is like some of the goriest, weird, like off-screen gore, but like her body is like moving.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like from being handled. Like, ugh. This was intense. That like tonally, this was like, what the is happening right now? Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're watching the life creep from her body from her husband's perspective before she's fucking vaporized. Did they have to go this hard? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. And then he steals. So that was a really, really careless alien. That's like, I'm just going to leave my special bracelet next to this guy.
That's a trope.
Yeah.
The one scientist who's over. Yeah. But it was kind of cool the way he just puts his arm down. He's not even deliberately doing that. And then he just kind of locks around his wrist.
Yeah.
That scientist is like, my armband is itchy.
I'm just going to set it right here.
Next to this monkey. Yeah.
Like, oh no, he got the keys. Oh no.
Also, that's like
getting
his gun.
contact dermatitis.
It's like, oh, I forgot I was wearing my gun to this medical thing that I have scheduled.
That's yeah,
like he's getting a CAT scan. Like, no medical, please.
Yes. So like, okay. So the aliens do they have different jobs, or is the scientist alien also out there abducting people and running them down and stabbing them in the desert?
I'm talking about, yeah.
I think they all do the same thing.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think they all work on like a revolving schedule. Maybe I don't know how they keep it balanced.
I think they're all a one-man band.
They probably got a good pension, 401k plan.
You've got to have a work-life balance. I assume they get days off. Yeah,
they get part of. Well, I mean, I assume that the flying is their like relaxation time. You know, you get to like swing people around while they scream.
They all have a science table in their bedrooms.
Yep.
In their quarters.
Like, what are you doing today, Tony? Oh, I'm gonna head back to my room, vivisect a lady.
Just work on my science table.
Let my inside arms out for a while.
Let my inside arms out. It's a country song there.
This movie needs an explainer song. It's called "I Let My Inside Arms
Inside arms out, and she left me.
So they head out with the Apaches to the location of the ship. Just a tower is sticking out of the ground. They start to make a plan to attack the alien base.
I love the ship design. I thought it was cool as shit the first time we see it.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I just want to say that it seemed industrial, which seemed cool.
But also it was kind of cool that it was like blending in with like the local geology.
The actual
the Chiricahua Mountains,
yeah. So Jake leaves. He goes and persuades his old gang to join the fight, while Dollarhide tries to take command of the group and the Apaches, but the Apaches are resistant until Nat tells them, "No, this white guy's all right."
Even though he's not.
No, this white guy is not all right, but Nat tells them he is.
This was I thought they did this well.
Mm-hmm.
Like just him having the lady translate. I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool thing for him to hear secondhand through somebody else being like, oh, dude, he's saying really nice things about you. You should hear this stuff. Instead of him like also translating what he's saying himself or somebody else in the tribe doing it. Like,
yeah.
I think it worked because she's magical. Otherwise, this wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Well, and he was having a heart to heart, so like he didn't want to translate it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a little bit of invasive.
It was between him and the warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's good stuff in this movie.
There's a good movie in this movie.
There were just too many hands in the pot, and it got the aliens.
It has
suck.
Problems.
Yeah,
for sure.
So they climb. Jake arrives back with the remaining bandits. They climb up the alien ship and plant dynamite. It blows up. Aliens come pouring out to go get the humans.
I love the gag about dropping the matches. It's like, we have to go back down. There's no other way. But he's smoking the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
out of
matches.
Ugly. Yes. Tuco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Reference. Mm-hmm. There was another one right at the beginning when he after he kills those three guys, he checks the gun by listening to it as it cocks. That was a Tuco moment.
Yeah.
In The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I missed that, but yeah, totally.
This shot of them on the edge of the ship throwing the dynamite was awesome until they shot them from above looking down. And I was like, oh, they're like in the desert, but like 15 feet up. Because they were so high up.
Yeah.
Like this would be a really scary shot. You would get vertigo from how high they are.
Yeah.
Because that thing is like 100, like maybe 80 feet high at the lowest. The little entryway that they're throwing dynamite into.
Yeah. But then they ruined.
They're so high you get the wind kind of vibe, and your gut would get the feeling and the vertigo. Like none of that was there. I was so bummed because I was like, oh shit, here we go, shit's happening. Okay, like that's lame. Was immediately my thought seeing the perspective of it.
Yeah, it was ineffective for sure.
Yeah.
So the aliens come pouring out, insect-like, swarming almost, and they run on all fours and they're.
Yeah, very beefy.
Anybody got an idea how many there might have been?
No clue.
Like 20 to 30, maybe.
But also, this is where I have a big problem because shooting the aliens doesn't do much
until it does.
Until it does. But then also you can just stab them apparently with a wooden spear, which if a bullet isn't going to hurt them, how is a wooden spear going to pierce that outer alien shell? Bullets have much more force.
Or weak spots,
I guess, but also it doesn't. Yeah. They just kind of go straight through the middle of them.
They did.
Yeah. Nothing worked against the aliens until it did, and the aliens were just slaughtering them until they weren't.
Yeah, and how many people did they have there? Because they were slaughtering the people. That posse was getting annihilated.
30 bandits. I'm not sure how many Apaches.
And plus, like, maybe
And then our posse.
5 or 6 left from the original posse.
From the cattle group.
Dollarhide and Nat.
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah. It was, this was a real lame third act set piece.
Not well thought out, not well blocked, not the shots are just, there was like a shot of like a couple of these like chaos out of focus shots with like blood. And I was like, dude, what is this movie? What are you trying to do? Is this like a horror movie technique that you're trying to use and fit it in?
I generally like Favreau's films for the most part, but he's not a really distinctive visual director at all. And I feel like this movie could have used a really distinctive visual director.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So they while this is happening, Jake and Ella go in, sneak into the ship. They free the captives who are chained up, staring at a bright light. Ella shoots the light and they come out of their trance. They still have no memories. She unhooks them and helps them find the way out while Jake has to shoot a swarm of aliens coming down a tunnel at him. Meanwhile, outside, all the big fights happening. Then the kid kills one of the aliens with a knife because his inside hands come out, and apparently that's where the heart is or something. I don't know. The soft insides.
Hands and yeah, this is the chocolatey center.
I think that this song is right in itself. I keep my heart where I keep my inside hands.
I keep my inside hands are around my heart until it comes out and you stab me.
my inside heart.
My outside heart.
My heart needs a hug from my inside hands.
Sweet embraceable you.
Then inside the ship, Ella shows Jake how to remove his bracelet. Spoiler, it has to do with kissing girls. She takes it.
Yeah, you'll lose a bracelet that way.
You have to turn your mind off.
Yeah.
So this cowboy,
Turn off your mind.
he has not in any of these silent moments to himself turned off his mind. This memoryless cowboy
Never once.
who remembers nothing.
Never went blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never once. So
Power of love, man. That's how
Power
they
of
should have
love.
played this movie out. It should have
the
power of love.
not even the power of love, because she's not even really a love interest, and he's still hung up on his wife that got killed, and but also she's like obviously like she's being set up as a love interest, but I don't know, it's messy as fuck.
She could have like Peter Pan, like think a happy thought kind of thing, you know? God, we really needed a happy fucking flashback, because all the flashbacks are of just his wife being brutally murdered and kidnapped.
Yeah, we needed that flashback where like
Of them under the sheets.
under
with
the
wind.
sheets, hanging up sheets on the laundry line,
Yeah.
like any of those dead wife flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, she takes his bracelet and she crawls up into the gooey blue center of the alien ship to blow up its power source. Meanwhile, Jake tries to make his way out of the ship. He gets captured by the alien, who's pissed off that he sliced his face up.
They just like run into each other in the hall.
He's like,
oh,
you! God, I know you!
It's like Kylo Ren running into Finn. He's like, traitor!
Yes.
What a coincidence. This galaxy's huge.
So yeah, outside, the remaining posse and Apaches apparently won the fight, and the aliens just left. I guess they just left.
I guess they just left, yeah.
Yeah. They killed enough of them I guess. Who was driving?
I think the aliens were just like, I think we're done, guys. We're gonna go home. Good game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but they realized, all the abducted people come out
Over the hill too, like
yeah.
riders of what's it called?
And it was such a weird, like, unnecessary thing. Like, is my son there? Looking through the spyglass, he is. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why can't you just be like, Percy?
Right?
Yeah.
We know you hate your kid. We can tell.
Yeah, you obviously hate your kid.
Yeah. Now he loves him though because Adam Beach died.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now he's like, maybe I should have done a good job raising this kid instead of not doing a good job.
That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah.
The decision, yeah.
Yeah. So they realize Jake and Ella are still inside, so Dollarhide goes into the alien ship and shoots the Scar alien, and now guns kill them.
Yep.
They escape from the ship, and then it takes off.
Both of those characters completed their arc at the same time. Dollarhide by coming around and saving somebody that wasn't himself, and then Jake by jumping off of the spaceship.
Yep. Yeah, the ship takes off, and Ella gets to the nougat core, the gooey caramel center, and turns on the wrist weapon. It blows up, and the ship blows up. The aliens are all dead.
Yay!
Yes. Yay for us. We cut to some time later. The town is apparently mining the gold. Or the alien ship splattered gold all over the place and they're just picking it up. I'm unclear, but there's gold. Now there's gold.
Yeah.
Everybody's got like giant nuggets of gold too.
They're like just
those are all
life
life-changing sizes of gold to find at that point in time.
Yeah.
That would make sense, though. The ship exploded and there was more gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold's just everywhere. So Dollarhide and Percy are good guys now, apparently.
This this scene contrasted with the first time when they walk into the bar. This reminded me, and I'm going to complain about it one last time, but I wish this looked more like a Western, the way that it was shot, like lens and angle kind of thing.
I just think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Jon Favreau is not an especially visual director.
Yeah, because this didn't contrast in the way that I had hoped. I was like, oh, cool, everybody's dancing. And I was like, oh, it's weird. This place was really empty before, but it doesn't it doesn't give me the magical feeling.
The one shot that felt really Western-y was the opening shot where it just pans and Daniel Craig sits up into frame, which is very much cribbed from other Westerns. Like, I feel like there was one of the Man with No Name films or something had that shot in it.
Yeah, probably. The sitting up.
Yeah, into frame in the middle of the desert. Like, yeah.
Probably.
So, anyways, Jake is still a wanted man. He's going to leave town, but the sheriff and Dollarhide let him know they're going to claim he was killed in the invasion. So he rides off into not the sunset, kind of like the 2 p.m. set.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just rides out midday.
Yeah. Roll credits.
Roll that explainer song about those tiny little hands.
Yeah, that's the movie. I don't know. It was a big bag.
I liked it more than I thought I would, but that's all. I mean, I don't think it's great, but like, I hadn't seen it. I thought it was way cheesier than it was. It was a little less cheesier than I thought.
Yeah,
but not cheesy.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying the first 30 minutes or so, and then it took a big dip for me, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I agree with you on that, Josh.
Yeah, that's about all I can say.
I didn't complain about this, but I got one more thing in the chamber. When they're attacking the town with their beams of light,
Yes.
And the entire town is gasoline fire exploding around him.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Just a lot of gasoline fires in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things exploding that don't usually explode.
Like everything's made out of wood, it would burn, but like where's this explosion coming from?
I think the alien spacecraft, their weapons beam down gasoline for it to hit and explode.
That's fair.
Okay.
It's a two-part weapon.
It's a two-part process.
Two-stage weapon.
Yeah.
It's a compounding. All right.
Drop gasoline, light it on fire.
Yep, that's alien tech if I've ever heard it. Yeah.
Basically, alien Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just teleport them instead of throwing them the old-fashioned way.
Throw them with an electric whip.
Do we have any unanswered questions we haven't talked about yet?
No, we went through them.
So many
We went
that
through them.
are unimportant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mostly just about aliens and what they're doing and why.
Yeah. 2 of those 6 people should have been tasked with developing the aliens. Yeah.
Making them actually unique and interesting.
And
That's my problem with any aliens come to Earth movie of the last 30 years, though, is they're just so rarely unique or interesting. District 9.
Yeah.
That's about the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
But that guy gives everything character. Everything's got character just from looking at it. It's stylistically.
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp. Blomkamp?
Blomkamp.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I have issues with a lot of what he does, but he does definitely have unique and interesting ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. We ready to thumb it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so
I guess I usually go first.
Josh does go first, yeah.
It, like I said, it amused me more than I thought it would, but there are a lot of problems, so I'm just going to go down.
Josh is going down.
I eat the ass, I eat all that shit.
I'm still 12 years old, and it will be forever.
Same here. I'm 10, in fact, so at least.
Brian.
Hate the aliens, and I hate the way this movie looks. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Ow.
I had fun. Thumbs up. I'm not ruining my streak on this one.
You are the least jaded. I had no idea.
Absolutely. This is a case where I was gonna give it a tepid up until we spent 2 hours talking about it, and now I don't feel like I can. We've talked through so many of its problems. I feel like it's a down for me. So
I'm sorry.
There you have it.
It was a real tepid thumb up at the beginning. As of like finishing watching it yesterday, I was like, it's all right. It's a 5.1, which is just slightly up.
Mm-hmm.
But so all right, that is it for Cowboys and Aliens, which means next week on Harmless Phosphorescence we are watching Dread. The 2012 Carl Urban Dread. Will this IP work without Rob Schneider? We'll find out.
We'll see.
That's next week on Harmless Phosphorescence. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us. This has been your host, Thoreau Smiley. And I'm going to go let my inside arms out for a while.
They should call this movie Cowboys and Leprechauns. I'm Josh.
I'm Brian Lesh, and... Oh, sorry, Josh.
I forgot my last.
I'm Brian Lesh, and every story needs a good jumper.
I always dreamed of having a son like Alaric Weber. I'm Alaric Weber.
Yep.
We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.